Welcome back to my channel, everybody. This is Raw Cloud. In the previous video, I left an indication of what today's video was going to be about in the comment section. Okay, let's begin. This is actually one that I have been trying to figure out as far as my daughter. Now, as this story unfolds, a lot of this story is going to make sense to maybe you guys as well with your kids. So, me and my wife was in this place. It was on the other side in the astral realm. And I guess my spirit guides wanted me to see and verify what I had already knew, what was going on. So back to the story. Me and my wife and my two sons and my daughter was in the astral realm on the other side. And we were in this home, this house, and there were other children there too, between the ages of 6 and 12 were there. So I saw this very bright light come down. It was almost like a star come down, and I see these little beings come out. These little extraterrestrials come out. I guess we would consider them extraterrestrial, but later I found out that they are from a realm where children roam. You know, a planet of the children. So now, at first, I did not gather who they were and where they were from, and I see these little, no more than 3 feet tall, little beings, and they were extremely bright color, and they had all sorts of colors to them: yellow, very purple, very bright, very vibrant color. And they had like little suits on that looked like little stuffed animals. All kinds, man. I mean, you would know that these are just children type extraterrestrials. But so when they come in the home, you know, I didn't know what they were there for initially, not at first. So I closed these 2 double doors, and they're banging on the door. You know, they wanted to get in. So at this point, I just linked with them, and all I felt from their vibes, just pure innocence. Just pure innocence, and they were there to take back the children to their home planet. And this is a planet, you know, just filled with just children and their whole innocence. So I let them in, and they gathered the children that were there, and they took a hold of my daughter's hand, and she was 12 years old, and they began to walk out the door and down the stairs. And I'm looking at my daughter, and I'm like, I'm not going to say my daughter's name, and I'm like, Princess, are you You're leaving? And she said, yeah. And I said, are you going to come back? And she said, no. And then I say, will you come back on my birthday to see me? And she said, yes. And she came back upstairs and she gave me the tightest little hug around my neck. And I began to cry. And then it just made sense to me that she incarnated the innocence of a child as they begin to get older, as they become teenagers. That part of them has to go back to where it originally came from. And of course, me being a father, I I was sad, and I came back, you know, crying, you know, to see, that part of her leaving. She's now 15, but these change of events that would occur after the age of 12 um, had to come in, and the innocent childlike part of her had to go back to its original source. And a lot of you guys with children out there, you may not know, and I'm so glad that my guys would let me see this, because I did not understand why, you know, especially as a female, she changed up so quick, and we just chop it up as uh, typical teenagers. But no, there's a spiritual component behind the switch. It's not just well, she's a teenage girl and she go through mood swings. No, that innocence of all of us originates somewhere else, and it's a true spiritual place that, as we get older, that time of our innocence, they come back and take that part of us back to where it originated from. And maybe this video, as I continue on with the story, it will help you guys understand that when your child changes, when they grow up to a certain age, they no longer begin to play with toys. You no longer see that little twinkle and spark in their eye, that bubbly, uh, loving innocence, that laughter that they have. And yes, it is a growth stage, but that spiritual part of them, that innocent part of them, it goes back to where it originated from. It only stays for a moment. That joy that they bring, that twinkle in their eyes, that curiosity, that innocence, man, it is a true spiritual entity. And they go back to what I call the land of the children, a true place where they can be young and play forever. And a part of us are there as well. A part of our spirit is there where we stay young forever, where we play as innocent children forever. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But when my daughter made that transition, I noticed a change in her. Um, and it just made a lot of sense. She no longer wanted to play with her little stuffed animals. I used to get down there with her. She would ask me to come and uh, play with her toys with her, and I would sit on the floor with her, and we would make up all types of stories to play with, and we would go through all these scenarios, and you know and I miss that. I miss that about her, because when she made that teenager transition, it's a spiritual transition as well, where she had to take on responsibility, and she had to be accountable for her own emotions. And these emotions, especially when it comes to females, they are more prevalent than what male emotions are, and they can be all over the place. They can be emotional 1 minute and happy the next, and then just angry um, for no reason. And a lot of these emotions can cause um, different distortions within their energetic field, and it begins to break down their enlightenment, their protection, and all types of influence can come in. And so my daughter began to have influence by dark forces when that change came. Now, even as when she was young, she had these abilities like I do. She could see. So therefore, if she can see, then they can see her too. Um, and dark forces don't like those that can see, but they will try to influence. And so she was, for a while, influenced by dark forces. Um, but she began to, you know, understand as I explained these things to her that she had to be accountable, and that she was not the only one that these dark forces will influence, and they will pretend to be your friend to gain access. So it wasn't until recently um, she began to take accountability for her own emotions, and her light began to shine, and her strength, her spiritual strength, become more prevalent, and it came back. So for you parents out there, you know, you have to take notice. Don't just um, for when your child is being influenced by dark things, and you know this. Don't just push it to the side and be like, oh, she's going through her own phase. No, they can influence. They can influence. So, and what you have to do is teach them to be accountable for their own action, be accountable for their own emotions, uh, and that you cannot play victim. Do not see yourself as a victim. So, I wanted to share that with you guys because I mean I knew something was going on um, at that time, but I just didn't know exactly what happened. And then when these little children uh, came down to retrieve her, the the innocent part of her, to allow the her teenage years to come in and learn and evolve so that one day she can grow up to be an adult. Uh, yeah, the innocent. I see now that it had to go back to its original source, and all of us go through this phase. All of us. I just didn't know that there was actually a place that the innocent of us human beings as children, go back. But it made sense. It really made sense uh, to know this, to see it. So for all of you that come to this across this video, and maybe it can help you understand that as we grow up from a child to an adult, that we have different levels of evolution, not just the human part, but as a spirit, and certain parts of our spirit, especially the innocent, have to move to the side or go back to its original source so that the other part of our spirit can evolve. So there's a part of you that's always living as a child um, in another place forever. So this is a short story that I wanted to share with you guys. In the next video, just look for it in the comment section. I love, honor, and respect you guys. Have a good day.